Good morning everyone, my name is Christian from Two-Headed Wolf Gaming and welcome back to Path of Exile. Let's continue the journey. I tried to grind a few more maps, try to get a few extra levels in before we delve into today's journey, but I just failed miserably, died a few times, lost like 20 or 30% experience at level 92, so that is a pain, but what can you do? Important thing, at least right now, is that we progress through the maps, trying to get ourselves one of these armors 6 linked, so we can finally get rid of this 5% extra damage taken and make us stronger. So let's also explore a few of the extra maps that we have available around here. And we'll do those we've never done before, 2 from the last episode. And we'll probably jump in on these others as well, but let's see if we can get some maps. Cheers! I have my coffee ready, hopefully you do too. What do we want to throw in here? You know, Einhar has that crafting recipe with the 6 link. Maybe we can do that, not sacrifice any more fusion links, but yeah, you never know at this point. With my luck, it has been pretty poorly. Okay, what happened here? So area contains many totems, cursed with vulnerability. Oh, yeah, didn't see this one. So if you want to see what you have on a map, and I should have paid more attention there, I guess I thought that was the map that we modified, but it probably was not, is you can click tab until it shows you the map details, and when you open this, it shows you all the modifiers that's on it. So this one doesn't seem like it will have any problem for us. No elemental reflection. It's really unfortunate that we lost the map earlier, but what can you do? People say that it's important to read what's said on the map, but who cares about those people? P.S. Don't take me seriously. So I've been wondering, how is your weather like? Because here in Romania, there was, like, spring was already here. There was a lot of sun. It was getting warmer and warmer outside. And since last week, today is our second day of, full-blown snow. It seems like winter doesn't want to go away. Not sure what its plans are. At the end of the day, as long as there are all these restrictions in place and everything else, I'm not sure I want to have a lovely summer. I still remember last year in the lockdown, maybe we'll look at it very differently, but when we were free to go outside and do whatever we wanted, in the past years the weather has been pretty awful. Now that we are forced to stay inside and, work from home and all that, the weather outside was absolutely beautiful all throughout the summer. So yeah, I don't know how this works, or maybe we just see the part of the glass that we don't have, right? That full part, and we're just looking at the empty part. Or maybe we just don't care. Maybe we get used to the warm weather and don't pay attention to those details anymore. Not sure what is the case, but it doesn't improve the mood at all, I have to say. But for now, if it's snowing and it's cold outside and ugly, like, it doesn't feel like it matters anymore.
That was a great hunt, Exile.
Now, hopefully, during the next year, everything will be getting a tiny bit better and we'll be able to move more freely inside and outside the country. Really love to get a bit more traveling done. I was thinking, like, I was watching the Path of Exile convention, and you can find it online too. Pretty cool one. There's a lot of subjects of discussions that you might like to hear. Like, if you got some interest in Path of Exile, that conference is really for you. You will get to see, I think it's the one from 2 years ago.
I envy you.
I think so. It's either in 2020 or 2019.
You act in service of survival.
I think it might have just been at the beginning of 2020.
Existence. Your mind is assaulted by reality, yet it shields itself with hope. A flimsy falsehood that holds the crashing truth of hopelessness all the same.
This envoy doesn't have anything else to do. They just come and start talking to us.
When I'm ready, and not before.
And in the conference, you will get to see, like, Path of Exile 2. You will see a Path of Exile mobile that they're trying to develop and build out, which looks pretty impressive. From what I understand, they don't want to make the game easier or simpler just because it is mobile. They're just trying to port it. So keep everything all the same. Make everything all the same, and it looks very good. I am very curious to try it out whenever it's gonna appear, though I'm not a total mobile game freak on that. The only games I truly like on mobile, like that I truly enjoyed, were the Kairosoft games. If you don't know what those are, if you enjoy management, like constructing buildings and managing a small town or a small business or things like that, having people with different skills, putting them in different positions, or if you like sports and you want to be a trainer, those games are really, really cool. I don't know, they're pretty complex for a mobile game. Their graphics are lovely. There's nothing too complicated. But they offer you enough information or enough details where it does feel like a very complex experience, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, let's see, what do we have on this map? Less armor, we don't care about. Increase life to bosses. Okay, nothing special. Now let's try to improve these ones as well. Elemental reflex, so definitely want to change this. Minus 10 to resistances. I think we're fine with the elemental resistances. Player have less recovery rate of life and energy shield. I think I can do this map as well. So we want the excavation map to be changed. Okay, now it looks good. Hopefully we can unlock ourselves a few extra territories. And in here we have the Sacred Grove. Do I want to run anything else? Shall we run some Zana maps? Or let's try some. Let's get some sulfite. I'm not sure if I'm on cap. Haven't done delve in a very long time. Kind of miss it. Okay. Oh, once we go get going here.
When I'm ready.
And the Kairos games, they're made by a Japanese company, but they do have some of the games, or most of the game, like 75% of them, are translated from Japanese to English. And you can spend really, like, hours.
The Maven fixates on struggle and suffering.
Yeah, shut up. And one of the cool things that they do, so you go through their games once and you play it, you know, at a pretty amateur level. Like, you go through, you discover all the mechanics, you level up buildings, you level up people. And what is really nice is when you reach like year 12, and most of the game it's year 12, you get a high score. So it does have sort of an end game in that regard, but you can continue playing afterwards with the same thing you've constructed so far. And there are buildings, like after this playthrough, after you reach the end of the game, you will unlock a fast mode, basically increasing the speed of at which you play the game. Because once you've learned stuff, you don't want to wait anymore, you know, for basically to play for the same amount of hours to discover the same amount of things. You can do it at a faster pace. And I think that is an interesting feature to add. I mean, I think it worked the same with Path of Exile, right? First time you play it, you take it slow, but after that you just want all that extra speed. And everything that you level up, like, actually there are some buildings that are not necessarily great game breaking, but you know, the level ups of the buildings and the people carry over to whatever new character you play. And I found that to be a very fun feature. It gives you a reason, a good reason at that, like after the first time you've played it and you've learned the game, gives you the reason to play it again, because this time you can do it both quicker and get more out of it, right? Have, you know, a stronger city or a stronger team when it comes to games like the football or baseball, or all kinds of things. Just give it a go. Look for Cairo Soft, and it's with a K, so it's Cairo and Soft from software. You'll enjoy them if you do enjoy this type of management game. If you enjoyed the series of Foundation and you are playing like a Football Manager, you'll definitely love that game too. Okay, we're almost capped on Sulfite.
And not before.
I haven't met Nico in a very long time, not even when grinding on my own. We should be doing some unique maps as well. I have a bunch of them, very low leveled, and at least to present the experience of it. Okay, ooh, that hurt. Yeah, let's make sure we don't sit in his way. He's doubled now. Okay. Other than that, he seems to be pretty slow, so as long as we stay out of his way, we should... Ah, rats! Let's jump right in. Maybe I should start learning to put down some portals closer to the bosses, huh? Okay, throw a town portal here. I think one of my future campaigns will be on hardcore. Just to learn to die less. this map, there's so much stuff going on. I'm not sure where to look. We have ice, we have fire, we have electricity, we have lava. Yeah, this guy has 2 modifiers for extra life, that is why he's so beefy. Okay, good. So we have the fight being witnessed by Maven, and Caldera has been completed. It's over here, so she saw this part of the map. And apparently for some of these, for the bonus objective, you need them to be corrupted and rare. Let's see. Okay, we have like 2 more maps here. They need to be corrupted and rare. And these ones, okay, this one shows over here, corrupted and rare. So I'll try to throw in 2 corrupted maps. And you know, that will give us the bonus. But I want more of these maps to be unlocked. Yeah, let's play it at this difficulty. I think this is what we'll do. We'll play it at this difficulty. And unlock them, which will ensure in turn that we will get them drop more often.
I need more mana.
And then we can grind away at getting all the bonus objectives.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Now these totems, a fecal totem, I'm not sure who drops it. Like, we've seen this drop last time as well. What about our clarity? So our clarity is at level 16. And we have increased area of effect. I would like to throw that in as well. Let's see, where is clarity? It's here. Let's add this. Because this will extend the mana to our allies as well. And I'm not sure that they do use mana. I should check out the wiki probably. But it can't be bad for them to have some regeneration. Okay. Let's jump through this abyss. These areas tend to be pretty good for experience. The enemies are not that tough. At least not these smaller ones. Another Veil of Regalia. Let's see if we're getting lucky. Okay, all things considered, this went a lot better. We got a pretty good speed. just a Stygian Spire. This should go really quickly. There we have it. And back to the map. Ooh, a crafting recipe. For fire damage rank 3. Perfect. And we have the arena. I think there are 2 bosses in this map if I remember correctly. Yes. As you can see, it didn't show us the message that the map is completed, so there's definitely another boss.
I need more mana.
Okay, here is the second one. What is this? Desecrated shadow. What did we die from? Wasn't paying attention. Probably it was the Maven debuffing us or something. I guess that's what happens when you play softcore, right? You don't really care about that. At least not to a level that you would care too much. Yeah, losing experience is bad. Losing an entire character is a totally different experience.
We will be best friends, Beast, until we slaughter you. Do not worry, little beast. We are friends now. This one is captured. I now will take it.
Time to go back. And I've never seen a map like that, so I don't know what to expect from it. But I want to check it out.
We will be best friends, Beast, until we slaughter you.
Yeah, definitely have to take that debuff with the extra damage off. Let's see, so this is an area influenced by the Elder. The map is occupied by the Constrictor. No elemental reflection on it. We're gonna run this next, shall we? I mean, it's a tier 16. Who cares how difficult it is? We'll just jump straight through.
We will be best friends, Beast, until we slaughter you.
When I'm ready and not before.
We have only one more central part here that we need to take care of. Then we'll be done. Ooh, let's step away from those guys. From the porcupines.
That was a hunt you will not soon forget.
Good. So that is it. Let's see. 121% increased energy life. Not that great on the rest. So except for the energy line. Level 82 item. That is a lot of energy shield. How do I make it in such a way? All the modifiers are prefixes. Has 2 modifiers on energy shield prefixes, but that extra health Man, that is pretty good armor, but not perfect. Not sure how we'll make it in such a way that we... I guess I know how to remove... No, you know what? I think we can... What we can do is run until we get a harvest. One of these harvest modifiers, right? And we're trying to look for something like this, but that has random life modifier or a random resistance modifier. I think I could remove one. Let's see. Oh, it's cold resistance, so I can't remove it with the lightning one. But I know there are these type of modifiers for cold. Not sure they are for life. I know there are some modifiers, they were like remove a life modifier and add a life modifier, right? I think that is the case. Okay.
Greetings.
We'll work on that. What else do I want to do? Well, identify these two as well. Increase elemental damage, but we do not have the discharge. We're not using it. This one has some mana, has some fire resistance, has a lot of strength. Not sure I will do anything with it, but hey, let's keep it.
Yes. Good luck out there.
There was someone, I'm not sure who, definitely I saw it on YouTube. And I think it's one of those videos where they were talking about how to make currency in the game. And one of the things they were talking about is like, you collect all of these items, generally speaking, because you think you're going to do something with them, and you don't have enough time during a link to actually get to doing stuff like that. Especially if you don't do this as a job or as a streamer, like you're having 8 hours a day, for example, or more. So one of the things they recommended is start selling. Start selling because you're not going to use them. Someone else might be using them, and in that way you will ensure that you will have everything you need in order to create your character. And even though that is a lesson that I should be taking to heart, prefer the hoarding. Let's see, what else do we have around here? So increase the quality. They have increased life, and I think with at this point the boss will have 55% increased life. How hard can it be? As Quill18 likes to say, what can possibly go wrong? Let's give this one a go. At least the Maven will not appear anymore because she already saw the fight.
When I'm ready, and not before.
And during this run, given the level of the map and stuff, I am going to be opening all of these chests. Great. We have a Conqueror spawning in. Dominated by Cyrus. Interesting. Awakens, event. Okay, this is the emboldening. We're not gonna do rituals.
I need more mana.
Ooh. Yeah, extra life, evasive. Yeah, look at this. So many modifiers. So we'll have to be very careful here. I do wonder, how much experience are we getting of this encounter? So we're at 0 now, right? Let's see. Oh, I don't want to go to the bosses like this. Definitely a good increase in difficulty there. Plus the extra modifiers. Ooh, that hurt. Let's head on this way. And I'll try to be more careful. Especially with these guards dominated by Cyrus. Yeah, Cyrus is... I guess he's like the 5th Conqueror. He is like slightly like an end boss to the Conquerors. And we will be fighting him soon. I'm not sure we're prepared for it. We're gonna try. Okay. Now the experience is not bad, but it's not great either. I don't think farming a level 16 map, at least not for... Those are some of the attacks that Cyrus has, even on the... like in the boss battle as well. So in a way it's this teaching you like what type of attacks does he have. Like if you meet him a few times in a few maps, then you might start to understand like what his attacks does, like the fact that he has some of those beams and some explosions. I'm not sure. Maybe it is a good idea. But it's definitely very difficult to take care of him, so... Definitely need to get rid of that debuff by the time we go to maps. Yeah, these rare enemies dominated or possessed, or what is it called, dominated by Cyrus, they can really take a beating. One day I'll be looking back at these videos and be like, man, I was an idiot. Like, who is this guy making this character? Like, you don't have this much life, you don't have your resistances ready. You have that 5% extra damage that you're taking every day when you run the maps, and you've done it for the past like 5 to 10 episodes. Like, what are you doing? What are you trying to achieve? That's what I'm imagining I'll be saying. Okay. Where is the... Oh, it's not only Cyrus. Where is it? Is he not taking the soul and creating something new? Yep. So we're going into the Ruins of Despair to fight a modified monster here. The Constrictor. Woohoo! Yep. Poison it is. And the Maven came over to watch the fight. Interesting. Oh, that extra life, and the Maven in it. I guess the Maven wasn't in the Constrictor map, right? We avoid that bow, that is good, so that's what we do there. Okay, let's avoid the bow once again. Nice. Okay, he's not that difficult. Well, the Maven is healing him. That is
when I'm
awful.
ready and not before.
Do we have enough damage to fight him with the Maven healing him? Not really. Seems to me like... Yeah, Flask will not be generating. Come on, Maven, stop healing the guy. He's already tough as it... Yeah, look at that. She healed his entire life. I'm not sure we will be able to take him on if this is how this goes. Do I have to sit near him here?
I need more mana.
Oof. Ah. Yep. I don't think we can take him on. Not with the Maven healing him. I don't think we're doing enough damage. And his life pool is big. With all of those modifiers. I don't know what to do here. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think we're gonna be farming the map, but we can't really do anything about the boss. This time. Because that we don't have enough damage there. At least not for the Maven to heal it. And that is because I threw in those extra modifiers. Ancestral power. Well, ancestral power guy. Let's see how we deal with you.
When I'm ready and not before.
Okay. Rest of the area is fine. I mean, not a whole lot of bad things happening. I need to get myself going with some of those awakened orbs for control destruction and for spell echo. I think the next one that I can take is the... Ooh. I think the next one that I can take is the controlled... not the controlled, the spell echo. If I remember correctly. I have this arena. Is there a boss here? No, so this boss has been taken away as well. And we only have the constrictor there. Okay, well, we will try for as much as we have portals. We have one experience. That is no problem if we lose it, right? So, now that we have our flasks, I am going to be trying to take him on.
The chase begins.
We'll take with this, we'll do the fire one. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, I'm not sure we're going to get him, but let's try. Okay, let's not be negative anymore. We are going to defeat you. Okay, don't see it, don't get shot by the arrow. That is normal. Advice. Get exposed on this guy.
I need more mana.
Oof. Okay, let's not get hit by the arrow. We've learned that lesson.
Take vitality.
No, do not take vitality.
Atrophy left.
Okay. His life is lower. As long as the Maven doesn't heal him too soon,
When I'm ready and not before.
we should be fine.
Oh, the chase begins.
We're taking him down in some ways.
Atrophy flesh.
Okay. Okay. Think one more chance, one more chance. Let's get this guy.
Outrun this.
Come on. Okay. Well, we got him somewhere. Ooh. Apparently, he's in a new form here. Ah, he was there. Like we were getting our flashback here. We lost. You know, the lobby, but we learned something. Now I know what to expect from the maps. From those specific maps, and we're gonna come back in it. A ring that does bleeding. The rest of it is awful, but that modifier, increase projectiles, not for these. +1 to socketed, okay. Okay, we will be keeping this with the modifiers as you are able to use them later on. Okay. Now this is the reason why at some point I was saying that you need to get to the end game. Like end game, like to red maps. It's only at red maps that you start getting some really cool gear, and you saw like these maps, new encounters. There are some things that are reserved only for the
When I'm
people,
ready and not before.
I guess top players, if you wanna say, but people who want to get towards the end and grind and apply knowledge and things like that. And you can see that even though I am not a good player, like, and I'm just average, by following a build guide, this offers me the possibility to see these for the first time. Look, a ring gives 7% extra life. So you're getting all of these extra experiences for the first time, and it also provides you with ideas for what you might want to do in the future. Like, hey, if you reach this part of the end game, you're like, you know, I really want to defeat that boss. I really want to fight the constrictor next time, and I want to win. And maybe if I get that map, I won't be throwing extra life modifiers so that the enemy has like 55% extra life, and maybe I will not throw the Maven in the fight either, just because she will heal them. So I'm not sure you have to reach the end game in order to learn these lessons, now that I say them out loud. But the idea stays the same. Like, you don't know what to expect. You might think that you can take it all, especially if you went through through yellow maps and white maps, and it was like a breeze. Everything was easy. Now when you got to the red maps, it's starting to feel a bit more difficult. But that is okay. The fact that the game can challenge you is a big advantage. It gives you that reason to keep playing Path of Exile. And there are many players out there who are really good at this game, and you love like watching them, seeing them, learn from them, and things like that. This is a game that for me is very entertaining. Like, I've watched people play Path of Exile for a very long time. It's the people playing Path of Exile, and more on the amateur side that were doing the build on their own, that got me into playing it. And later on, like nowadays, I'm trying to find people that are more advanced and they're doing different builds, and like they're trying, I'm trying to learn from them as well. Like, I've spoken past episode about Zizran, things like that, and people like that. There are a few more, like, let me name a few more names, because it seems at this point that I think I've already talked about Zizran a lot. But there's Yoji, and there's Badger. I think his channel is called It's Me Badger. I think that is his name. They have a podcast together too. And it's really cool. Like, everybody's doing something different. Like, when I watch these people play, I don't know, I guess most of the people that I watch and most of the people that you will see playing Path of Exile have something different. Don't believe that if you've seen one guy play Path of Exile, then that's it. If you don't like him, you will stop there. Look for the person you like, because everybody is different. Everybody plays the game in a different ways. The game has a lot of content, to the point where every league someone is doing either Legion, or maybe they're farming in the Delve, or maybe they're trying for the end game. Like, even during this league where we were talking about the Maven, right? Everybody was going for the Maven because it's the new end game. But even with the Maven in mind, all the modifiers on the map, like the ones we added as well, like these ones, everybody did something different. Some went for what would be the most precious, some went for the stuff they enjoy. So even when grinding maps, people did something different. Okay, we have we need 3 more maps in here. Yeah, let's continue, or I'll already load this map up. We have Einhar. I am going to bring Einhar in then. Sorcerer's Boots. Look at that. 15% increased movement speed. Regenerate life, that is not that great, but we has intelligence and increased energy shield. The only problem I have with these boots right now, but I think they're a higher level, right? 82, yeah. We want to keep these boots of higher level because as I showed you earlier, like in some of the past episodes, higher level can give you better mods. So you want some of that endgame equipment. It's that extra few percentages that can make a very big difference. Especially when you're talking that
I'm ready and not before.
1% increase is actually a whole lot more because you have a lot of modifiers added to your equipment and to everything else. Now I'm not sure about the possibility, but I'm trying to get like another... I know that we will get a lot of life because the guide said, like the build guide said that you need level 95, and the next 3 nodes that we are taking are things like this with increased maximum life. Let's take the wand as well. Not sure if we'll get anything good out of it, but we're gonna try. And talking about people to watch, I was trying to answer the question to myself, like, why would you watch me? Why would you want to continue to watch me? What do I want to do in the future? That you might be interested in, or not. It really depends on what you are looking for. Well, I consider myself an average player at this. I am in the middle of the road. I definitely want to show you what it is, like this middle of the road experience, to where it's becoming very difficult to find this kind of level in the Path of Exile world anymore, at least in the streaming world. Though there's still some people out there doing it. And I want to show you like how you move from this middle level, like that's why I created the first run of it, the first campaign, like trying to play Path of Exile like without any kind of knowledge or with very little knowledge. Because even though it wasn't a super successful series as far as what I thought I was going to do, and what actually happened. But it doesn't matter. The point was for that campaign to understand that you can play it yourself and have fun and just go through it. And then there are multiple levels. Then we got here to following a build guide because even for me, that made a huge difference in my experience of Path of Exile. I was finally starting to understand how to put these pieces together. Like, what do you need for defense? What do you need for attack? In my first few campaigns, I don't think I went past the yellow maps. Like when I got to the red maps, I was not this strong. I was very weak. Like my first red maps were really destroying me. I didn't have all the right pieces in place. I didn't know how to do anything. But then I got better. And I got better by learning from others. And in what I'm trying to do and what I am going to do in the future is I'll try to get to a higher level. So there are two things that, or there's one thing that is very important, like there's one more piece of the puzzle until I can get to, let me beat this boss because he's pretty tough. There is one more piece of the puzzle that I need until I can become good at it, and that is crafting. I think my biggest weakness right now is crafting, is not knowing too well how to make myself the right equipment. Oh, this can be a good one as well, level 83 gain. But how do I keep that modifier while adding others and changing? I'll have to see. Because I don't know how to craft too well, one of the problems that we meet right now is that I don't know how to make the perfect equipment that will get us to be invincible. Not invincible, but strong. Maximum mana, fire resistance. Okay, these boots are not great.
Good to see you. Good luck out there.
So, during the next playthrough, I think that will be the team. I said this before, but I really believe it that that is going to be the situation. So we're going to go through the game trying to learn how to craft, and we're going to spend a lot of time crafting. Much more than any of the two campaigns, and much more than I ever spent time crafting, so on my own. So that is the next point, and I'm not gonna do it from the perspective of let me teach you how to do it, because as I said, I do not have that knowledge, but I am going to do it from the perspective of, hey, let's figure this out together, and maybe we'll have a chance to talk. Maybe I'll do part of it while streaming. Ooh, this one was a lot tougher than I expected it to be. Yeah, I didn't manage to.
Good job, Exile.
What do you mean, good job? I didn't kill anyone.
Looms closer with each.
Maybe I'm a bit too far for the wands and the orbs that I have. I have to think about it. But we'll do. We'll explore the rest of the map, do the rest of the Alba encounters, and we'll see. So I'm gonna do it from the perspective of someone trying to figure it out. I will be using and talk about, I'll explain, I guess, when it comes to crafting, I'll explain the things that I do know, right?
Ah, there you are. Ready to revisit the past.
Which might not be too many, but
Greetings.
in the grand scheme of things, but I do have some basic knowledge of crafting. Just enough to know how to throw a few gems together. Yeah, let's make sure we're not getting too destroyed here. Okay. And after we're done figuring out how to craft properly, I am going to try to work on doing my own builds depending on the items that we have. Meaning that if we find a cool sword that has fire on it, let's open this one as well.
Good job, Exile.
So if we find a sword that seems to have like a cool modifier on it, like fire or things like that, I am going to try to put together a build that has fire damage and I don't know, anything that might seem interesting. Or we might just begin a campaign, and I think that might be where we say, hey, I am going to be using like the, I don't know, an ice skill, right? Maybe we'll use the ice orb. Is it cold orb? Cold orb,
When
I
I'm
think
ready
it is called.
and not before.
Stuff like that. Or we'll take a bow and we'll do with the electric arrows, like the stuff that I showed you during events. We're not gonna, and I'm not gonna use any kind of build guides, which in turn will make it a guide, not necessarily to follow. Like that is not my intention, to make a guide on how to create the perfect build, but I want to have that experience of figure out how to make a build. It's like we would be the first people in Path of Exile trying to figure things out.
I need more mana.
I think that is the experience that I wanna share.
Just in time.
If you want to figure things out, like the right advice that I've heard is once you follow guides, you follow a few build guides, and then you're trying to make some small changes. And I think this advice is from Yoji, it's from one of his videos.
Ah, there you are. Ready to revisit the past?
Lightning damage or increased
The more
area of
you kill,
effect.
the
Let's go
more
with
you
lightning
change.
damage instead.
It's time. Greet.
So he said that you should follow a guide, and after you go through these guides, you will make small changes. Change a skill here, add a different item there, and see how that works. And if it doesn't work properly, if it's not going well, then you can always change it back to the build guide that you are following, and then you can make a different modification and see how that feels. And that is a way in which you will start learning mechanics, right? How everything works together. And even though that is a good lesson, like I understand the point of it, it doesn't seem appealing to me at all. Like really doesn't appeal to me at all. Which brings me to what I said during the first campaign.
Good job.
Especially in the first campaign. You can play this game on your own
That room now.
and not do what other people do. Like you don't have to justify what you want out of your experience to anyone. And you can go ahead and have fun. And that's what we'll do as well. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna try some crazy builds in a very amateurish way. So, will that experience be good? I believe it will be. I believe that it's going to be fun. I believe it's going to be a good way in which we will have a chance to interact. I'm sure there will be some people who will be annoyed at, you know, like especially if you have some knowledge, some good knowledge about the game. That could be pretty annoying, but except for the resistances, I do like these helmets. But at the end of the day, as I said, we play as we like. Oh, by the way, we have an item here, and this will be in the next episode. I want to do this. It's a Maven invitation for the Hidden, and that is because I fought in Ash's domain. Like I went into one of these maps, I'm not sure how the invitation works. Like when I look at it, when I look at this invitation, like where it's in the stash, it lights up Ash's domain. I think we have to either go... Let's see, can I start the map now or do we have to go in all those places? Okay, so she has to see all those 4 battles before we can have the Maven in them. Yeah, that is another thing that we will do in the near future.
Still
But with
safe.
that in mind, let me know what you think about these ideas if you want,
Careful.
and if you have any kind of feedback as we go forward. But that is going to be it for today, and I thank you very much for watching. I wish you all to have a wonderful end of the day.